G'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. And there's me, I woke up this morning, rubbed the sleep from my eyes, had a quick look at my Spurs news, and quite a nice surprise. It looks like, it's not completely confirmed yet, but Ollie Skipp might be going to Leicester City, for about 20 million. 20 million of your preferred currency. And this to me is really good news. This is like one of, there was that period in our recent history, last 3 or 4 years, and there was that leadership group, remember that? Harry Kane, Ollie Skipp, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, vanished. We've got Ben Davies left. He's in his last year of his contract, he ain't going anywhere, sod it. We can survive in one more year. But Ollie Skipp, man, there was a time where he did look like he could be a good player for little old Tottenham Hotspur. But for me, it was when coming back from injury, he never really. He became a much more frustrating player for me. Before his injury, I thought, okay, yeah, there's potential there. After the injury, he just got too aggressive for me. That half a yard, player would go past him and then Ollie Skipp would do something stupid like 2 feet in, pull the guy down by his shirt. So I'm glad he's gone, and I guess another silver lining that this might bring about is that it's pretty much nailed on now that Mikey Moore will have to be in our main squad for all the homegrown and all that sort of requirements. I think that's great news. He's definitely going to get some minutes. And you know what, we've come a little way. Before you know it, we're a different team than we were 3 years ago, 2 years ago. We've had a decent turnaround of players, and these are players, the ones that I mentioned earlier, that the likes of Conte and Mourinho kept around. Now I don't know how much power they had in the whole thing, but Ange has come along and basically, Ange has only been here a year and a few months, and he's quarterised what needs to be quarterised at Tottenham Hotspur, I think. Now, I would still like to see Gio Lo Celso go as well. There's still rumours around him. And are we going to pick anyone else up in this window? Well, maybe it might be time for a cheeky Conor Gallagher little swoop. Chelsea, I don't know how they could have mismanaged. Look, I don't follow them day to day, but I just don't see how you can have your captain 1 minute being, well, I suppose we did it a bit with Hugo Lloris, didn't we, if I think about it that way, maybe. But it was clear that Hugo was on his way out at the end of his career. Conor Gallagher is like in the middle of his career, he's in the peak of his career. And complete cock up with the transfer to Atletico Madrid, then being frozen out of first team training, and then the new Chelsea guy. I'm not going to. There's no point in even naming the Chelsea manager. He ain't going to be there 2 seconds. So he doesn't fit in his team or requirements. It's weird. So I think if Madrid don't get Gallagher, someone else is probably going to get him cheap, I think. I wouldn't be offering full price or competing with Madrid on it. I'd be cheeky. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. No big deal. No point in filling up Chelsea's coffers more than they need to be filled up. So these are exciting times. So just really Lo Celso and Davies for me. I know there's a few other characters around the place, but when you compare it to the other people we've got rid of as well, we've got rid of Tanganga, Rodon. And we've put another couple of players out for loan to see if they can make the grade later on. I am getting very excited. Now, I've also been looking a little bit at Wilson Odobert to see what the cut of his jib is. I can't glean too much from it, really. Seemed to play all right for Burnley last year. He seemed to be playing, from what I could see, on the left and right wings. I don't know much more than that, really, but it's a different team at Tottenham. We're taking on newly promoted Championship champions Leicester City tomorrow. Whether the Skipp deal goes through or not, it's probably too late for him to put on a Leicester shirt, but I would like to bung on a few past Harry Winks, who last year was all full of himself. Oh, I'd love the first game to be against Tottenham Hotspur, and now it's it's just another game. He's trying to be Mr. Professional Football ahead. We know that don't cut it with him. So far, the tale of the tape this weekend will show that if Spurs win by more than 3 goals, we go top of the table, and that's where I want to be. I want to get out there, hit our stride early on a nice few goals for Dominic Solanke up front. I think he's going to have a good season for us. It's looking more and more like a tough old team selection that Ange has got, which is unheard of, where for the last few years we've known exactly pretty much who our first 11 will be. Now there's question marks, particularly in midfield. We've got quite a few players going for not so many places. Who will we start? I would take a guess that the defence would be the tried and trusted defence. So we've got Big Vic between the sticks, Pedro Porro, Cuti Romero, Mickey van der Ven, and Destiny Udogie, who's been back training. Apparently he's going to be available. If he's available, he's playing. Then midfield, it starts getting hard, doesn't it? Who do you put in the more defensive area? Basuma's missing a week at least because of his little indiscretion that, seems the whole world apart from me gives far more of a crap about. But there you go, he's done the crime, he's serving his time. Let's see if he can shake this one off and get back to his best after a slap on the wrist. But who's going to play in that position? It's probably going to be Bentancur, I suspect, but Archie Gray seems that he can do a job in that position as well. I'd stick with Maddison, just because he's the first team incumbent and vice captain. I think you do that sometimes with players, just to give them a chance, because I think Maddison, as well as everyone else, knows that there's a Lucas Bergvall shaped player ready to pounce on his spot if Maddison doesn't get going. And the one remaining midfielder, probably Pape Matar Sarr. So I'd be going Sarr, Bentancur and Maddison. But if there was a Bergvall or Gray in there instead, wouldn't faze me either way. And up front, I think we're looking at Son, Solanke, and probably Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. That's right, there's no room for Kulu in my lineup. People seem to be very impressed with what he's done with pre-season. He's got to win a bit more back for me. I know there's a player there, and I know he's got good attributes and good points about him. But he's also been a very frustrating guy on the pitch for me the last 2 years. But maybe it'll be Kulu on the right-hand side and not Johnson. And those two have got to lift up their game because they've got a Wilson Odebear and a Mikey Moore shaped player looking up there. There's quite a bit of nice competition for that right wing position. I think on the left, I think Sonny really has got that sewn up. He might have, he might do 70 minutes and it'd be swap for a Timo Werner, something like that to freshen it up. We've got legs off the bench though, If we play that team, we bring Bergvall on in the second half, or Sarr or Johnson. I think things are looking so much better for us than last year even. I think we're going to be improved over last year. I see a lot of hubbub at the moment saying that we're going to come 8th. I don't see it at all. I think we're in a title race. The gun's gone. We're all running now, so it's the title race until it's not. My prediction for some reason, and if you want to join my predicting competition, go to predictthefootball.com and enter code 434030. That's 434030. It's a stupid score that's stuck in my head, but hey, it's stuck in my head now. There's nothing I can do about it. It's going to be 11-4 to Tottenham Hotspur. I'm still thinking we're going to score over 100 goals this season, although if we start off with 11, it's only 89 to get, isn't it? You're over 10% of the way there. Oh, is that Popo there to get me? Well, I'll be doing a watch-along tomorrow for the first game of the season. Kick-off here is 5 o'clock AM Sydney time, so hopefully I'll get my act together and start streaming about half an hour before, going through the lineups. Very exciting. I'm very excited. I'm like this before the start of every season. It's all there to play for. It's all out there. If you're watching this on or listening to this on podcast, thanks very much. Trying to get the podcast into double figures. That's always nice, man. So I'll see you lot tomorrow morning, or maybe a little sneaky stream tonight. We don't know yet. Till then, peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.